Today on the 01581, a conversation about the Westborough Food Pantry, an update from our town manager, and some other things going on in town. This is a show you'll want to tune into. Hi, and welcome back to the 01581. I am joined by two very special guests who are leaders of the Westborough Food Pantry here in Westborough. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, and we're going to talk about what the Westborough Food Pantry is, who can access it, whatever you need to know about the Westborough Food Pantry, which is an awesome organization, been in existence for a long time. Polly and Paul, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So a little bit about yourselves for our viewers so that they can kind of name of the face and a little history.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm Polly Thayer. I am one of the co-vice presidents of the Westborough Food Pantry. I've been involved with the pantry since I retired, so about 7 years ago I started. It just brought me, I was so interested in it, one, because it helps our neighbors, and two, it's such a organization, well-run organization. It's just unbelievable, the food that comes in and goes out, the folks that we help and provide food for. So that was the drawing tie for me to start getting going
Sure.
with the food pantry.
Sure. Excellent. And Paul, how about yourself?
Paul Luippold. I've been with the food pantry for 15 years. And similar to Polly, I just wanted to try to make a difference in some small way. And over the years, I've really seen pretty much every aspect of the food pantry and how it works. And
Sure.
met a lot of people. And it's very fulfilling to leave there like we did
Sure.
today.
Yeah.
And knowing
Yeah,
that,
you were working before the show,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yep,
right.
yep.
And just knowing that you're really helping the community.
Sure. And what are some of the volunteer roles that you started in that, you know, before you took on kind of leadership roles that other folks participate? You
I have
know?
a funny story about that. The first meeting I went to was Harry and Ginny Lindsay, and they identified me as a meat man.
Oh, you're one of the meat men.
So
Yeah.
they pegged me right away, and they gave me the keys, and the next week I was like buying the meat, which we buy every week.
Yeah.
We give away a lot of meat today, much more than we used to. I think back then we had one freezer, and
Yeah.
now we have, I don't know, 5 or 6 or
Wow.
something. And
Wow.
we keep them full. So
Yeah, yeah. Well,
that's how I started.
it's like a little label you wear, a
Right,
meat man.
right,
Yeah.
right.
And Polly, how about yourself?
I started just working with the clients because
Okay.
that's what I enjoyed is, you know, chatting with them and seeing how they're doing and what kind of foods they needed and that kind of thing.
Sure. Well, that's sort of a great segue when you say kind of what foods they needed. So that is one of the unique aspects of Westborough's Food Pantry, right? Is that people can actually go and shop.
Shop. So most of the communities in Massachusetts have their own food pantry, and that's how it's always been set up. And to be eligible to get food, the only requirement right now is that you live in Westborough. And so that works. So anybody who knocks on our door,
Okay.
do you live in Westborough? Yep, come on in and get food. If you don't live in Westborough, hey, here's some food to tide you over. Here's the address of your local food pantry that you should go to next. So that's how we deal with it.
Do you get those requests? People coming to Westborough?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Interesting. Okay.
Westborough is known to be a really nice food pantry.
Okay.
A lot of the surrounding towns, it's like, here's your bag of food.
Okay.
And if I put in there crunchy peanut butter and your daughter only likes smooth peanut butter, what are you going to do with that?
Right.
You're going to either hopefully give it to a neighbor or
Right.
you're going to toss it.
Right.
So we just found that there was probably a lot of waste.
Yeah.
So we've set up a store. It's a mini store, but there's a lot of variety. We try to make sure there's a lot of ethnic foods, diversity in there too. And so you get to pick and choose.
Sure.
And we always have fresh frozen hamburger, chicken breast. We always have fresh eggs, bread, and shelf-stable milk we always have.
Wow.
And those items we purchase with funds
Sure.
that are donated.
Wow.
The food pantry is not, it's not part of the town of Westborough. We're an independent 501c3.
Yep.
We do not get any funding from any state agency, any town agency. We are funded totally by donations.
Wow.
Which
And so those are
is-
both monetary donations as well as, I know there's a food drive coming up.
Right,
Yeah.
food donations too. We do get some food from the Worcester County Food Bank, but we get like an allocation. So we
Sure.
can't just go take whatever we want.
Right.
We can only have 8 of those and 7 of that and that kind
Wow.
of thing. And we go pick that up. And we are getting help from Mark's Moving and Storage starting next month to help us go pick up that food, because
Wow.
you go try to pick up 2,000 pounds of food
Wow.
with your significant other,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
Sure, that and
So-
do you have the right vehicle and everything else?
Right.
So,
So-
wow, that's great.
My husband and I have been doing that for a couple of years, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah. And is that a weekly trip for volunteers, or how often
We go twice a month,
twice a month? Okay,
right?
wow.
And because
To the food bank.
Well,
right to the
kudos.
food bank.
Okay, right. Yeah. Well, kudos to Mark's Moving and Storage for helping out. That's awesome.
We're thrilled to have that
That's
new
wonderful.
partnership and get that going. But
That's excellent.
it's interesting because the food pantry's been in Westborough since 1986. A lot of people don't even know we have one.
Sure.
A lot of people don't know where it is.
Sure.
We love our location.
Yeah.
It's right in the center of town.
Yep.
But the entrance is in the back, so it gives a lot of privacy to our clients, which again is really is nice.
Yeah, really respectful. Right. Absolutely. And the park is nearby, so if folks are
Right.
coming with little ones, but maybe before they're picking up their groceries, or maybe even after, but they
Right.
can kind of enjoy some nice green space. So that's great. That's good.
Um,
So, what is the greatest need right now in the food pantry? Either I mean, we can talk about specific food, but I would imagine, given kind of the headlines that we all see about housing insecurity, as
Right.
well as food, that there's just a volume need.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
It is a volume need, definitely. So I don't even know how many pounds of food we go through in a month or a week. Over the course of the
Yeah.
year, it's over 300,000 pounds of food we give
Yeah.
out all the
We're
time.
estimating we'll come close to $500,000 worth of food given away this year. So if you divide that by 52, that's there's a lot of food
Yeah.
coming in
Yeah.
and going out.
Yeah.
We get a lot of donations from all different kinds of sources.
Okay.
From some big civic clubs and churches, and Mr. WHS was a huge contributor
Yes,
this
Yes,
year.
which was fabulous.
We just got a giant contribution from the civic club,
I saw that in the Community Advocate.
Yeah.
Yep. And what was that contribution? Just
$10,000.
Wow.
Thanks.
Yes.
Three people. That was awesome.
Yeah, so
Yep.
and what a great way, right? So
Yeah.
the Civic Club obviously puts a tremendous amount of work into
Right.
the selling of the trees and wreaths, but then the community comes out and supports it. So it's really like the community
Right.
paying it forward through
Right.
that effort.
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
So we have significant contributors like that. Our number one donor is Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
They're our largest donor in
They've been a
terms of.
long time partner.
Yeah,
Yes.
they give us food that maybe is close to expiring, or maybe that they're not selling it as
Sure.
much as they wanted to, so that it comes to us. And
Sure.
we go there a few times a week and pick up
Yep.
whatever might be available that week. And we never know what it's going to be. It could be meat, it could be
Could be ice cream
could be
sometimes.
ice cream. Yeah, I
Sure.
think we got about 12 boxes of ice cream recently.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Right.
That's great. And so and in terms of Paul, you mentioned this, that one of the things you enjoy doing is meeting the customers, and so are you asking them kind of what kind of foods do you like, what don't we have that you might like, so that because I know each food drive there's usually a list,
Right,
like
right.
we need beans, we need pasta, we need what have you.
Yes, like for example, dry beans. A lot of folks are used to cooking with dry beans as opposed to potatoes.
Okay.
It just depends where you grew up
Yep,
or whatever.
sure.
So we really do try to have those kinds of food. Gluten-free items also, we really try to have something like that. Sugar-free and low sodium.
Sure.
We try to have those too. Sometimes it depends on the donations that are coming in. We do go out and do our own shopping if we find that we're low on certain items.
Sure.
Sometimes the living conditions of the client also can play an impact. We do have some homeless people that come see us from time to time.
Okay.
And we do have people that maybe don't have any kind of cooking facility. So they need different
Sure,
food than
sure.
someone that has access to a kitchen and all
Right,
that sort of thing.
right.
So we try to,
Right.
no matter who you are or where you're from or what you need, we do our best to
Yeah.
have what they might be looking for.
And for folks coming to the food pantry, is there, I mean, it is an independent organization, but is there a connectivity point for those clients who are interested back to kind of accessing any services through the town? So for example, is there a connection back to the senior center or youth and family services or anything like that? You know, again, people have to be willing to
Right.
want that.
All of the above.
Yeah,
Right.
it's sort of twofold though too. So the senior center and we work together really well. If they see someone who's in need, they will call us.
Yep.
If we see someone that needs more services or if we haven't seen them for a while,
Oh, yeah.
we might reach out to the senior center and say, hey, we haven't seen so-and-so for quite a while.
Sure.
And I've been trying to reach them by
Yeah.
phone. Do you know, is just want to let, we have to watch out for HIPAA and that kind of thing, but we say, just let you know we have concerns.
Sure, sure.
So that somebody
Yeah,
else
people looking out
knows.
for each other, right?
We have
Right.
veterans that are referred to us. It
Yeah.
comes from all over the spectrum. It really does.
Yeah, I've had pediatricians call me, the school system calls, veterans have called
Yeah.
and said, and the other thing that we have done sort of on a smaller scale is we deliver groceries. It's not Meals on Wheels,
Yeah.
it's groceries.
Yeah.
So it could be just a cereal,
Sure.
it could be some fresh fruit, bread or whatever that you want to make supper,
Sure.
breakfast or supper with.
Yep.
So we found that during COVID there were a lot of seniors who weren't coming to the pantry.
Yeah.
So we reached out to them and said, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
How can we help you? So, for example, this morning we delivered 23 groceries to 23
Wow.
households.
Wow.
Each bag was individually, totally exactly what they wanted. It's
Wow.
not like,
Yeah,
here's your
like,
bag
here's
kind of
your
thing.
bag and- yeah.
It's exactly, and
Yeah.
it might have been 2 or 3 items, it might have been a bag and a half of groceries. It just depends on what they need. Sometimes I had somebody said, I can't get there, I broke my right foot. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
tell me where you are,
Yeah.
tell me what you want, and we'll get groceries to you for
Yeah,
till you're back on your feet again.
Yeah.
So we try to work with the different
Sure.
agencies in town, different groups in
Yep.
town, to help out whoever needs to be helped out.
wow. And I should know this number offhand, but I don't. About how many families per week are you servicing? Or families or
100
individuals?
Yeah, 150 would be an average week for us. It's close to 500 people that some
Kinda
come every
benefit from
week,
that. Yeah,
some
yeah,
don't
yeah.
come every week, but
Okay.
it's pretty significant,
Okay. And when folks are, so walk me through. So if I come and I
So
say.
you come knock on the
Yep,
door
yep,
and you want some food.
Yep.
Okay, come on in.
Yep.
I do need you to do an enrollment form.
Yep.
It's not an application, it's
Sure.
not yes or no, but we need your name and address
Yep.
and the number of people who are in your household, because that depends on if you get 1 bag of groceries,
Okay.
2, 3,
Sure.
or 4 bags
Sure.
of groceries.
Yep.
And, oh, by the way, it looks to me like you haven't been receiving SNAP benefits.
Okay.
Here's some
Which are what,
information
for
on.
folks that don't know what that is?
I didn't even know. what
Don't worry
SNAP
about the acronym,
yeah,
but it's
right.
basically like assisted food stamps, right? I mean,
It's
what we
the
would
old-
note as food
Oh,
stamps.
food
right,
stamps,
right,
yeah.
right,
Anyways,
yeah.
and there's a
Supplemental
couple,
nutrition something.
right?
Yep, okay,
And then there's
yep.
another one that's WIC, Woman in Need, I think it is. So
Yep.
it's if you have a
Women,
newborn,
infant, children,
right?
maybe?
Infant
Yep,
and children.
Yep.
So I see that you haven't marked that down. So here's some information. You really should call them because you can
get some additional benefits, right?
Right, you can
okay.
get some free diapers, or you can get this, or you
Right,
can get that.
right.
So we do that.
Okay.
If there are housing issues, we direct them to sometimes Youth and Family Service. So we
Yep.
do say, hey, you really should call this
Yeah,
number.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
And see what's going
Sure,
on.
sure.
And what else is available to you in
So
town.
they could walk away that day with some food,
Oh, definitely.
for sure. And then
Always.
And then
Always.
okay.
Always.
And then there are scheduled hours, which I know our friends at Westborough TV will put up on the screen
Right.
for us, so folks know what the building looks like.
Right.
And they would come around the back of that building, which is just off of East Main Street, on those scheduled times. Do they make an appointment, or it's just they come during those hours?
Just come.
Okay, got it. Okay.
They just come. So Tuesday mornings we're open for those under 60,
Okay.
just because they move a little slower and
Over 60.
over 60.
Over
Oh,
60.
yeah, over 60. Sorry. And they like
I'm
to
almost
chat,
there.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's different atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday mornings, anyone can come, and we're also open Thursday nights.
Okay.
Which again is really unusual compared to other pantries in the area, in that some are only open once a month.
Really? Wow. And how many volunteers does it take to run this program?
We have 80.
Right now, I think we have 84 volunteers on our
Wow.
roster, and everyone has a job.
Yeah.
Some only help out once or twice a month, which is fine. Some are there 24/7.
Well, Polly, I've worked with you in a couple ways, and I know that everyone, and Polly, I haven't worked with you, but I'm sure everyone has a job and they know what to do, and there's no question about it, and you do your job. So,
Right.
Which is great, because if you're a volunteer, you want to feel like my time, you feel like my time is valuable, and you want to put it to good use, right?
And somebody comes up to me and says, I really have some more time. I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah.
We've got a job for you.
Great.
And also we say, hey, I've got a job that's at 7 a.m. on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. And they're like, yeah, don't ask me to get up at 7 a.m.
Sure.
It's fine. Okay, how about if you do this one?
Yep.
So we really do try to work with that. The one sort of thing is we aren't allowed to have anyone under 18 while we're open.
Okay.
But there's lots of other things.
Sure.
We've had some high school kids come in like every other Thursday at 3:30, and they move boxes for us.
Great.
Which is great.
Take those young backs.
The coming food drive is
Yes.
Appalachian Service
Yes.
Project,
Right.
which is kids, right?
Right, absolutely.
I don't know
right.
their ages, but
Well,
High school
high
kids.
school, yeah,
High school
yeah,
kids.
That's a huge effort, and that is on what date?
So our next large food drive is Saturday, April 6th.
Yep.
You do have to register for it. We do have a flyer that we'll put up.
Excuse me.
But you say that you're going to have something at the end of your driveway
Right.
on that day.
Yep.
Put it there before 9 o'clock in the morning. The kids come pick it up and bring it right to the pantry.
Excellent.
And that's a real easy way
Yeah.
to donate.
Right, absolutely.
There is a list of foods, but you know what? Any non-perishable,
Non-expired.
non-expired item we would love
Unopened.
to have. Yeah,
Unopened,
would be
yes, right. Yeah, something, I always look at it like, would I, if someone gave this to me, whether I like the food or not, but would I eat this, right?
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
going to,
and we look through it all and we sort
Yes.
it as best we can.
Right.
double check.
We'd
right.
rather not throw things away if we don't have to.
Right, absolutely. Good. Good.
So,
Excellent.
but-
Excellent. Any last parting information on the pantry that I haven't asked about or that we haven't covered?
I have a couple of things.
Sure.
Did you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I think this is a perfect opportunity to thank Donna and Phil Kittredge,
Yes.
who have done remarkable
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. They are amazing.
Yes.
It's over 20 years that they were involved in the food pantry, and the last 14 as co-presidents, and
Yeah.
they'll be sorely missed and very hard to replace.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, would they? I know that they love that work. Very, very, very dedicated.
Yes.
And certainly over through COVID and kept it going with the
Unbelievable.
team. But
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 they were heading it up.
I know they practically live there at times. So,
Yeah.
so,
They do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So kudos to them.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
And the other thing I wanted to throw in was that what is it that
That's
I wanted
okay.
to? I have some notes here somewhere. The current situation of high inflation and other conditions has, as we've talked about, has really driven up the need for our services. We've had 31 new families that have enrolled since the start of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since the start of this
Since January,
2024.
since
January.
January 1st.
3 months.
And that's fairly typical. I mean, it goes up and down to
Yeah.
a degree, but
Sure.
it's just kind of mostly just going up.
Yeah.
This includes single mothers, veterans, seniors, and fortunately, the donor support that we get allows us to do
Sure.
and meet the increasing volume that we have. So we just really believe that mostly that we don't want to see anyone go hungry, especially children.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And I guess my final thing is, if you need some food, we want you to come.
Yeah.
9 East Main Street. And if you're in a position to help us with any kind of a donation, you can get information
Yep.
about that on our website.
Absolutely. And I think that there's a way to give right on your website.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes. We accept PayPal and Venmo is relatively new.
Absolutely.
So that will help out.
And I know you'll take, any kind of donation, but at this point, do you find it more beneficial to the pantry if someone is kind of giving you money so then you know where to spend it, or is it
We actually like it both ways.
both ways? Yeah, nice mix.
Yeah.
We'll really take either.
Okay.
The one really easy place to donate, there's a box at the fire station. It's open 24/7.
Yeah, right in the entry, the
Right
vestibule.
in the entranceway. So, and we have a volunteer who picks up there probably 3 or 4 or 5 times a
Okay,
week.
great. Great.
And there's boxes at both Stop and Shop and Roach Brothers.
Yeah.
So say it says 2 for, buy one, get one free.
Sure.
Take them both and put one in the box.
Great idea.
That's a real easy way. If you donate one item a week, that's great. If you donate a case of items a week, that's great too.
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
anything. But we like the variety that we get with the donations that individuals make.
Good. Thank you for what you're doing to help our community, and they're exactly right. No one should go hungry here in Westborough or anywhere, but certainly here in Westborough. We have a great food pantry to make sure that doesn't happen. So check it out. The information will be on the screen, and we'll be right back with our next guest. Hi, and welcome back. I'm going to try to add some community updates. One of the things that I hear all the time is that folks are like, what's going on in Westborough? How do we find out more? So to the extent that I can help with sharing information, I'm going to try to do that here on this show. So a couple quick updates. One is that the Recreation Commission sets aside 15 minutes at the start of their monthly meeting to hear from teens in the community. So if you know a teen who's interested in sharing ideas about recreation, maybe programming that's needed, have them reach out to the Recreation Commission. The next meeting is on April 2nd at 6:30 p.m. in Memorial Hall, and more information, of course, can be found under the Recreation Department and Commission webpage on the town's website. And on Tuesday, April 16th, the Westborough Women's Club will be hosting a fun night of bingo at the Knights of Columbus. Folks can register to play by attending one of the Westborough Women's Club meetings. The next one is on April 9th. But if you're not a Women's Club member, you can certainly play too, and you can go to the website at westboroughwomensclub.org. If you have any questions, reach out to them, get your cards. You can get your ordered cards on the night of bingo. I attended last year. It was a lot of fun. It was a full house. And Karen Bloom, for those of you who know, will be the official bingo caller, and she makes it lots of fun. So get out, support that organization. They give back to the community, so you can give back by having some fun. And we'll be right back with an update from our town manager. Hi, and welcome back to the final segment of today's show with Town Manager Kristi Williams. Kristi.
Hello.
Hi. I've missed you.
I know, it's been a while.
And,
I'm really busy.
Yeah, it has been a very busy time. So this past Saturday, we all ran a marathon together at annual town meeting. It was a great turnout across the whole day. I think a well-run meeting, and certainly there were some challenging points, I think, for all of us. But overall, I walked away feeling very good about kind of where we're at as a town and how town meeting runs. But that's all behind us. And so what does that mean? So we have an FY25 budget. And now what are you and your team and department heads doing?
Sure. So as
And
you
that
know,
probably didn't come across like what are you doing? Like that didn't come
we
across.
are doing things, yeah.
Yeah.
So anything that's a free cash article, especially as an expense for a capital item or something, that money is available immediately. So the any department that was sort of awarded money through that process could move forward with ordering. So
Why do I have like an image of Chris Panley out like walking among big yellow trucks or something?
yeah, so Chris can order his trucks, and Chief Chief Purcell can order an ambulance,
Yeah.
and Chief Minardi his police cars. So
Yeah.
all of that stuff is available immediately, which is great because as
Yeah.
we know, it takes a very long time
Yes,
for that
yeah.
stuff to come
They can be
in.
walking the lot, but they probably won't see it for several years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right.
And then a couple of items like from the budget article, the Youth and Family Services. We've talked about this new service delivery model. So that passed. The community seems supportive, I think, of
Yep.
that. So excited to move that forward. So we do need to finalize those contract documents, and then that would start. The new model would start July 1st.
Sure.
And then we talked a little bit about pay as you throw. That was also a budget line item. So the budget would have been the same regardless of pay as you throw or not. But the intent and the vote that the board took is to move forward with pay as you throw. So we need to finalize that contract as well with both Harvey's as well as a bag vendor. So whoever's we're gonna contract with to sell the bags.
Sure. And then there will be a whole kind of part of the implementation process is also community education and some forums where people can ask questions and
Right.
receive answers. What do you think about the timing of that?
Yeah, so we're anticipating April and June. We actually had a little bit of a preview, which you were a part of,
Yep.
at the Environmental Action Fair in March, which I think I actually was not there, but I heard it was very successful.
Yep, it was. Yeah.
So we've been working with Waste Zero, and they have folks on staff that can help with the information session, and then have also been working really closely with DEP, who was really excited to see this move forward in Westborough.
Sure. Excellent. And the other big item that we have going on here is the community center, right?
Yes.
So the board signed the purchase and sale. The purchase was executed
Yep.
on March 19th. And so next steps are what?
Yeah, so we have the RFQ out for the OPM, so the owner's project manager. So someone can help us move through the process.
And the process being, just for folks that aren't familiar.
Yeah, so,
'Cause it'd be like, well, you already bought it. What's
right.
your process, right?
So the process is for the fit up. So doing that community engagement piece that we committed to. And so we'll hire an OPM who will help us hire an architect. And then those two folks will help us through the community engagement. So that will happen late spring. And then hopefully, we'll have some designs to consider for the October town meeting. So
Excellent.
pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the recreation department, because the top floor is sort of nearly ready, that they're starting to look at what kind of programming they can do more immediately.
Yeah. So we walked through the building a couple times since we bought it. There's just identified a couple things that we need to do before we can move folks over. But we're really looking forward to doing some sort of big event late spring, early summer, to get the public in there. Really
Excellent.
look at what
Excellent.
the purchase was. Yeah.
Good. Well, lots going on in the town. A lot of good things. Always something to talk about. So
Yeah.
thank you for coming back, and I'll see you on the next show.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for today's show on the 01581 Let's Talk. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, would love to hear your ideas for future guests. Thanks. Take care of each other. Be well, and we'll see you on the next show.